Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I am bringing you my January manga haul. So, if you saw the thumbnail, you can see that the stack is quite large. There is an explanation for that. So, the stack this month actually has a lot of things that I had ordered in December that didn't come in until January. So, last month's haul, the December haul, was on the smaller side. Yeah, I completely forgot I had stuff that was outstanding. And so that stuff all came in, and then I've got my January orders, which I think have all come in. I had mentioned to you last time that we had put into practice a manga buying parameter. So I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about what I'm doing so that you know what my plans are going forward. So we decided, my daughter and I, we decided that we were, purchasing a lot of manga and not really going through it. And I really, really want to go through the manga that I purchased, especially the newer titles, to see if they're actually something that I want to continue to read, because I have found a couple of duds, and I'm not usually unlucky with the titles that I pick for myself, so that was really surprising to me, which kind of made me think that I should pick up the newer titles a lot quicker to see if it's something that I want to continue with. Plus, there are titles in my collection that are not complete yet that I'm really interested in catching up on, and I just haven't been able to do that. So this is kind of a twofold thing where we're hoping to pare down our manga buying, but also put together something that will help us to read more. Now, I do read a lot of novels as well as my manga, and so there are kind of two separate rules here. So basically, the general rule for myself and my daughter is for every 2 volumes of manga we read, we can earn a credit, and this credit can be used on anything that we want to purchase in the month. You don't have to wait till the end of the month to use it. There is a separate rule for my daughter where if she reads a novel, could be a light novel, could be a regular novel. If she reads a novel, for every 100 pages of that novel she reads, she can earn a credit. This is just because my daughter doesn't read novels, not regularly. And so I kind of wanted to incentivize her to read novels. Now, we do have a collection of light novels, which she's interested in reading. And so I wanted to incentivize reading those for her. So she can either read 2 volumes of manga to earn a credit or read a novel, and for every 100 pages, she'll get a credit. Now, my daughter and I run the Monochrome Manga Club. It's a in real life manga club that we host at our local Barnes & Noble. And so because we both have to read those titles, we are only taking half of the credits that we could earn. So typically we get 6 volumes of manga per month for the club, and so we're only taking 3 shared credits. So that means that the credits need to be used on titles that both of us want. Now, I will also say that omnibus volumes count as each number of volumes that are in the omnibus. So if I read, for example, a 3-in-1 edition of Bleach, I'll get 1.5 credits for reading that. So one other thing is that volume 1s of series, so say we're trying out a new series, that's a green light purchase, so I don't have to have a credit to purchase a volume 1. Also, if one of us is up to date on the series, we don't have to use a credit to purchase the next volume. So that's pretty much all the rules there are for our buying parameters for 2023. I will say that after January, this may need to be tweaked a little bit because my daughter went and read 11 volumes of Blue Exorcist in January. So she racked up a whole bunch of credits. And so didn't really help our paring down of purchasing, but hey, she's reading a lot more than she has been, so that's something. And so, yeah, as of the end of January, I have used all of my credits that I have accumulated in the month. My daughter has 3 credits remaining from what she has read over the month, and we have used all of our shared credits for the month. So I think that's pretty much all there is to tell you about our buying parameters for this year that we are trying to utilize. So we'll see how that goes. But like I said, you can see what the stack looks like. And it's okay because we used the credits and stuck by the rules. So without any further ado, let's get into this manga haul. So we're going to start off with the biggest items because they are the heaviest. And then we'll go from there. So we picked up the first omnibus of Fire Force by Atsushi Okubo. This has 3 volumes in it. It's a nice size. This is even bigger than a Bleach 3-in-1. Fire Force is about a boy named Shinra who lives in this world where the leading cause of death is spontaneous combustion, human spontaneous combustion. And his mother was a victim of this, and there are some other things that have happened in his past, but he ends up growing up to become a special firefighter. And these firefighters, they all have like some kind of ability, and Shinra is no exception. And so yeah, it follows him in his duties in putting out these fires that are started by spontaneous human combustion. And so I've watched the 2 seasons of this anime. Really enjoyed it. I actually do have a good portion of this series digitally from a Humble Bundle that I purchased, but since we are collecting the Soul Eater manga physically, I thought it would be nice to have Fire Force as well. And when I do long series like this, I do prefer to have the omnibus, provided that I haven't already started collecting it in single editions. And so this was one of those situations. And so we kind of hemmed and hawed about this because we have so much of it digitally. But in the end, I think I'd prefer to have the physical copy. So very happy to have this one. This one's for my daughter. This is Carnival, Volume 14 by Toya Mikanagi. This one's published by Yan Press, rated mature. It says it's because of language and violence. Yan Press does put the reason for the rating underneath the rating itself. It is wrapped in plastic. This is the final volume of this series. My daughter is reading this series. I think she's up to volume 9. So she used one of her credits for this. This is, from what I understand, a story about a guy, who I believe is this guy on the cover, who is looking for an old friend. And while he's doing that, he gets scouted by some kind of an agency. And what he doesn't know is that the friend that he's looking for actually works for an opposing agency. And that agency does human and animal experimentation. And so, yeah, she's really enjoyed this series. She tried to get me to watch the anime with her. I watched 1 episode, and I wasn't into it at the time. But I'm going to wait to see what she says about this series when she's done with it. She's really interested in reading the entire thing in one go. And so I think that's going to be on her plate for this month, which, if it is not going to help our buying. But yeah, I'm glad that she's reading. But yeah, it's definitely one that I'm intrigued about, seeing that my daughter has so much interest for it. So we decided to go ahead and get that one for her to complete the series. We have volume 21 of Yowamushi Pedal by Wataru Watanabe, also by Yan Press, published by Yan Press, rated teen. This is a story about a high school cycling club. We quite enjoy this anime. My daughter did flip through this, and she says that we're still not up to where we are with the anime. And so, yeah, I did read volume 1 for my TBR game in January, and I quite enjoyed it. I also quite enjoyed seeing the differences between what I know of the anime and what was in the manga, so that was very interesting. I have a novel here. This is another 2001. This is by Yukito Ayatsuji. This one's published by Yen on ages 13 and up. This is the newest installment in the another like franchise, I would say. I'm not quite sure how the 3 books connect, if they connect at all, or if it's just like similar storylines. But another is a supernatural mystery series about a boy who goes to school in a new area, and he gets assigned to this classroom that kind of has a curse on it, where there's always like one extra student. And when he goes to school, like people kind of act really strange around him. Like there's a secret that he shouldn't know about. And there's this one girl in his class that nobody seems to hear or see. And so, yeah, I really enjoyed reading the manga. I haven't watched the entirety of the anime yet. I watched the first episode of the anime before I read the manga. The manga was very good. I definitely did not expect what happened in the manga to have happened. And it was definitely an interesting read. So I do have all 3 of the novels now, and I'm really interested to read them. So, yeah. I decided to go ahead and pick this one up. It is rather thick. Like, I wasn't expecting it to be this thick, because the other 2 I don't think are this thick. This one is 558 pages. So, yes, I'm glad to have that one. Not so happy that it's hardback, though, because if you know me, I much prefer a paperback. But, you know, it is what it is. Speaking of hardbacks, I have these. So this is the entirety of Erased by Kei Sanbei. This is published by Yen Press, rated teen. This is the Monochrome Manga Club's next series read. So we will be starting this month in February with volume 1. So my understanding of the series is like mystery about a guy who has the ability to travel back in time. And when he does that, he ends up going back to a time when he was 11 years old, before his mother died and before the girl that he used to know was murdered. And so in order to get back to his current time, he needs to try to change events that had taken place originally. And so I'm very interested in this series. It has been one that I've had my eye on for a while. Luckily, my manga club members are very interested in this one as well, and it came up as a suggestion for our next series read. So I'm really looking forward to getting into this one. If you'd like to join us in reading this, you can. I do have a Discord for the Monochrome Manga Club. The link is down in the description box below, and you can read this with us and tell us your thoughts on it. The discussion thread for this volume will open up on Friday, February 17th. So I'm looking forward to this. So I not only have volume 1, but I have volume 2, volume 3, volume 4, and volume 5. So I do have the entirety of it. This was one of the things that I was waiting for from December because of the 50% off hardback sale that Barnes & Noble was having. And so I snatched all of those up because we were talking about it being the next series read all the way back then. So now that the bigger items are out of the way, let me move these to the side and I'll grab the rest of the manga and come back and share that with you. Okay, I'm back. So let's get to the manga. Call of the Night, Volume 10 by Kotoyama. This one's published by Viz, rated older teen. This one is about a boy who is an insomniac. He can't fall asleep at night, and so instead of just pacing around his room, he decides to go and venture outside. And during his first venture outside, he meets a vampire. They strike up a friendship and a pact, and that's pretty much the start of the story. I have a couple of volumes I need to read from this, but I did quite enjoy what I've read so far, so I'm continuing to collect that one. I did use a credit for that one. Next up, I have, this one has a cut on the spine. This is volume 22 of Bungo Stray Dogs. Story by Kafka Asagiri, art by Sango Harukawa. This one is published by Yen Press, rated older teen, about the armed detective agency and their fight with the Port Mafia members. We quite enjoy this one. My daughter ended up using a credit to purchase that one. Is that interesting for you to know what we used our credits on? Let me know down in the comments below if I should continue to let you know. But I will do that for this one because I do have my list right here in front of me. Volume 26 of Set Off of the End, Vampire Reign. This is story by Takaya Kagami. Art by Yamato Yamamoto. Storyboards by Daisuke Furuya. This one's published by Viz, rated older teen. This one's about two orphans who live in a world where vampires reign supreme. One day they decide to leave, but only one of them makes it out. And that one decides to take revenge. Has a mission to take out the vampires. We read volume 1 for the Monochrome Manga Club. My daughter really enjoys this series. I enjoyed volume 1 a lot more than I thought I was going to, and so I'm looking forward to continuing. My daughter is up to date, so because she is up to date, she didn't need to use a credit for this one, so we ended up picking that one up. Next up, I have a volume 1. This is Pandora 7 by Yuta Kayashima. That art is really cute. And this one's pretty thick, too. This one's published by Yen Press, rated older teen. Pandora's box must never be opened. We follow a girl named Leah, who's the sole member of Humania on the island. She's always dreamed of meeting others, but never expected to until humans arrive and attack her friends and family. And I guess she opens Pandora's box. So it sounded intriguing. And so I picked that one up. It is a volume 1, so we didn't have to use a credit for that. Another volume 1. This one was one that I was interested in. Malevolent Spirits Monogatari, story and art by Oni Gunso. This one's published by Seven Seas, rated teen. Fate brought them together. Will malevolent spirits keep them apart? We follow a young man who despises evil spirits for robbing him of something precious. He wants to use supernatural powers granted to him to dispatch these spirits, but his grandfather sends him to live with a girl who shares a house with an assortment of overprotective spirits. Can he bear it, or can this girl help him to overcome his rage? So I thought that sounded interesting. It says the supernatural battle action fantasy manga that inspired the anime. I don't think I've ever seen this anime, so I will need to go and look for that after I read that volume. I do normally watch before reading, but yeah, we'll see. Another volume 1, Honey Lemon Soda. Definitely one that I was interested in. Mayu Murata. It's by Mayu Murata, published by Yen Press, rated teen. There's a lot of Yen Press in this stack this month. This one is a shoujo romance, high school romance. So I wanted to check that one out. I've heard a little bit of buzz about it, and so I've been interested in checking that one out. My Secret Affection, Volume 1 by Fumi Mikami. This one is published by Seven Seas, rated teen. This is that one that's about a society where heterosexuality disappeared, but then this girl gets dumped by her girlfriend and ends up finding she harbors romantic feelings for her childhood friend who's a male. And so I thought that sounded really interesting. And so I'm looking forward to checking that one out. Volume 25 of Noragami by Adachi Toka. This one's published by Kodansha, rated older teen. We are not up to date reading this one, but we want to be. And so we used one of our shared credits to pick this one up. This one is about a minor god named Yato, who at the beginning of this series is just doing small jobs here and there for people to remember him, because if people forget about him, he will cease to exist, and he doesn't want to cease to exist, so he does little jobs for like a very, very paltry sum of money when he comes across a girl named Hyori, who actually ends up getting into an accident, and this accident leaves her with the ability to be able to separate her soul from her body, and so she's kind of able to venture into both the mortal and spiritual like realms. And so yes, we've quite enjoyed this. A lot of stuff has happened, so much so where, because there was such a long break in between volumes a while ago, I kind of forgot where we were, and so I need to go back and reread a few volumes and then read through the new volumes that we have. But I really, really enjoyed this series. Lots of sad stuff happening, and where I am right now, or from what I can remember, where I stopped reading, and so I'm really wanting to pick this one back up relatively soon. We have volume 2 of I Want to Be a Wall. This one's by Honami Shirono, published by Yen Press, rated older teen. This is about an asexual, aromantic woman and a gay man in a marriage and just navigating their life. We read volume 1 for the Monochrome Manga Club. I really, really enjoyed it, and so I'm really looking forward to volume 2 and seeing how Gakurota goes on about his discovery of boys love manga. I thought that was super cute in the first volume, and yeah, just seeing how their life together continues to progress, I think will be very interesting. And because we are up to date, we've already read volume 1, we didn't have to use a credit for that one. We have volume 5 of Beauty and the Beast of Paradise Lost by Kaori Yuki. That cover is just gorgeous. I really love Kaori Yuki's art style. This one is published by Kodansha, rated older teen. This is the final volume. And this is a Beauty and the Beast story with a twist. And so we read volume 1 for the Monochrome Manga Club. We used a credit, one of our shared credits, to pick this one up. So now we have the entirety of that series, and I'm really looking forward to reading the rest of it. I have volume 2 of the Geek X Hitman. This one's by Kodai, published by Yen Press, rated teen. We read volume 1 for the Monochrome Manga Club, and I really enjoyed it, so I'm looking forward to continuing. This one is kind of a Vincenzo Korean drama, and Sakamichi from Yoramushi Pedal. Our main character is kind of like a cross between those two characters. For me, anyway. It's about a guy who is a hitman, and he's really good at his job. And one job, he comes across this really adorable figurine, and his life kind of changes after that. He needs to find out more about this figurine, and he becomes really into like otaku culture and things like that. And of course, because now he's kind of out of the game, there are people that want to take him out. So it's kind of him balancing his like hitman previous lifestyle to his newfound realm of friendships and going to fan meetings and things like that. It was really cute, very interesting. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens in this one, especially about his growing friend group. And so, yes, we didn't need to use a credit for that one either. I have volume 1 of Coffee Moon by Mochito Bota, published by Yen Press, rated teen. I'm not quite sure what this one is about. I'll just read you the back. It says, drip, drip, drop. The hands run round the clock. Today's my lucky day because it's my birthday. Same routine, 1,033 times. Nothing changes until my best friend Danae remembers. Together can we reach a new tomorrow, or will we be stuck in another today? I think this is some kind of like mystery something. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what this one is about. But I know when I read the synopsis, it sounded interesting. And so I decided to go ahead and try that one. I've got volume 5 of A Polar Bear in Love by Kodomo. This one is published by Yan Press, rated all ages. This is about a polar bear who falls in love with a seal. I have the first 4 volumes. We haven't read them though because I knew that it wasn't complete or completely translated yet. And so I've just been holding on to them. So we used a shared credit for this one. And it just sounds super cute. And the art is just adorable. And so, yeah, definitely needed to pick that one up. I have volume 12 of Something's Wrong With Us by Natsumi Ando. This one's published by Kodansha, rated older teen. This is like a revenge romance. I used one of my credits for this one. So I'm just collecting that one because I think it's going to be one that I'm going to want to marathon read through. I have volume 10 of Phantom Tales of the Night by Matsuri. This one is published by Yan Press, rated older teen. This is about an innkeeper who trades sanctuary for secrets. We really enjoyed this one. I think I'm a little further along in this series than my daughter is, but she used one of her credits to pick this one up. So I'm glad to have that one. All of the Phantom Tales of the Night covers are extremely beautiful and so colorful. I just really enjoy those. But it looks like he's having a really good time eating a bunch of good looking food. So, see what that's all about. I have volume 2 of Yakuza Fiancé, story and art by Asuka Konishi, published by 7 Seas, rated older teen. This one is about a girl who I believe is from a Yakuza family, and she gets married off to another family's son, and so she needs to try to navigate that. I'm very interested. One of my manga club members said that she really enjoyed this one, and so I'm looking forward to jumping into this series. I did use one of my credits for this particular volume. We picked up The World After the Fall. This is volume 1, Undead Gamja. Original story by Sing In Song, adapted by S. Seinen. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. This was published by Issei Press, rated teen. So this is a manhwa set in a world where gargantuan towers appeared around the globe and swarms of horrific monsters descended upon the world to wreak havoc. So there's these groups of people called tower walkers who are tasked to climb to the top of these towers to eliminate these monsters. Sounded very interesting. It's another one of my manga club members had talked about, and so I'm interested to check this one out. I believe it is full color. Yeah, it is full color. And so it's a volume 1. We did not need to use a credit for that one. It's also a very, very heavy volume. I picked up Solo Leveling volume 6 in the light novel edition by Chugong. This one's published by Yen On, rated ages 16 and up, so that is older teen. I've talked about this series several times on my channel. I do have a series first impressions video on it. I have read both the manhwa and the light novel adaptations of the first volumes, and really enjoyed both, but I preferred the experience I got with the light novel, so I decided to stick with the light novel. I kind of decided that light novels don't count for the manga stuff because there aren't too many light novels that I pick up in comparison to the number of manga volumes, and so yeah, this is one that I am really enjoying. I read up to the 3rd installment, and yeah, this one is definitely on the smaller side though than like the previous ones, so I'm interested to see what that one's all about. Do I need to tell you what that one's about? It's about a guy named Jinwoo Sung who lives in a world where these like dungeons have popped up, and there are these teams of people who are tasked with going inside and clearing out these dungeons, because if they don't, the monsters will come out and wreak havoc. Very kind of similar to World After the Fall, actually, which is kind of why I was interested in that one. It's slightly different though. And then Jinwoo Sung is like such a low level demon hunter Like, he's barely got any ability at all. So when he shows up to a job, everybody gets relaxed. And this job that they go on in the first volume ends up being a rare double dungeon. The first dungeon is one where, they were staffed properly for. Second dungeon, not so much. And his entire team pretty much gets annihilated. And right before he's about to get killed, he sees a pop-up, like a game pop-up saying, "Would you like to be a player?" And with nothing to lose, he decides to go for it. And it changes his life forever. And so I've been really enjoying watching his journey through the 3 volumes that I have read. And so I'm looking forward to continuing that. I have volume 2 of The Case Files of Jeweler Richard. This is the light novel, written by Nanako Tsujimoto, illustrated by Utako Yukihiro. This one's published by 7 Seas, rated teen. I believe this has something to do with mysteries and jewelry, and that's all I needed to know. So I do really want to pick at least volume 1 up of the light novels for March Mystery Madness. If you haven't seen the announcement on my channel, March Mystery Madness is a reading event that I have been involved in since its inception. So I will be hosting again this year on our 8th round. So if you're interested in reading mysteries, any type of mystery, with us in the month of March, definitely go check out my announcement video, which is linked down in the description box below. And so I do want to pick up some of this, plus some other light novel titles that I have in my collection, because I think it would be really interesting read and talk about a lot of those during March Mystery Madness, especially for people who are unaware of light novels or manga. Like, the booktube community is definitely getting more into manga, but they haven't really touched the light novels yet. And so I think it would be nice to kind of share some of the titles that I have in my collection, as well as some other manga mystery titles that other people might be interested in checking out. I did put out a manga for mystery readers recommendations video last March Mystery Madness, and I do want to do another one of those this year, so we'll see if I can get that done. I've got 2 more things to talk about. I have volume 1 of Bride of the Barrier Master by Kureha. This one is published by Yen On, rated older teen. This is also a light novel. This is, for thousands of years, Japan has been protected by 5 clans wielding barrier weaving magic. We follow a girl who's always been stuck in the shadow of her sister, or twin sister. But when her power awakens within her, and it seems to be very strong, she decides to hide it so she can continue living a quiet life out of the spotlight. But it begins to slip out of reach when a man named Saku Ichinomiya takes over as the new head of the clan and sets out to find a bride strong enough to stand by his side. But she wants to keep her ability secret, so she steers clear of him. But will she be tempted to sign a marriage contract if it guarantees the peaceful, quiet future of her dreams? So I thought that sounded interesting and decided that I would check that one out. And then last of all, I have Sword of the Demon Hunter, book 1 by Motu Nakanishi. This one is published by 7 Seas, rated teen. This is Blade of the Guardian. For generations, the shrine stood at the mountain village of Kadono, and for each generation the shrine has had its shrine maiden. The maiden has had her guardian. During the Edo period, a young man named Jinto protects the town and the shrine maiden. When he confronts a strange demon in the nearby forest, it tells him that in the distant future, a demon god will threaten all people everywhere, and it claims that the demon god's rise to power springs from this very time and place in the village of Kadono. So begins the century-spanning journey of a man tainted by demons, hunting through time to seek justice for what he's lost and to find a reason to keep on fighting. So I thought that sounded very interesting. And so, yes, I believe this one is also out in manga as well. But I decided to go with the light novel edition because I don't think that's going to be something my daughter's interested in. And that's typically why I decide to pick up light novels as opposed to manga when there are 2. But that's everything that we have picked up or received in January. Not picked up, received. I think February should be much smaller. As of right now, the only person that has credits is my daughter. And so, yeah, hopefully this new system will work out a little better for me, and it'll help me or inspire me to pick up some of the titles that have been languishing in my collection. I know there are several that I'm really unsure about whether I want to continue collecting it or not. And so this should help me do that and figure out, you know, what I want to continue collecting and to help curate some of my buying purchases and things like that. So let me know down in the comments below if you are instigating any kind of buying parameters for yourself during the year of 2023. And if you are, let me know what you are doing. Like, are you reading a certain number and collecting like credits like I am, or are you doing something a little different? I'd really be interested to know. If nothing else, you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me a magnifying glass emoji down in the comments below for March Mystery Madness, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out. And that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.